I'm I'm curious about your game style. I remember you were talking about kind of before you went on your run as well. You were watching, I think, Felix play somewhere, and you tried to like focus on not missing wide.
Yeah.
But we were watching you play in, I think on tennis TV. We must have been in Peru, so maybe you were playing some hardcore tournament, and we
This year?
last year,
Okay.
and we were watching you play, and obviously serve and the forehand are like the staples, and then
Yeah.
but we
Cincinnati
felt
or
like you were
Canada? Was that
being
a Canada or Cincinnati?
yeah something
You
one of
said it
those.
was where?
It was either Canada or Cincinnati. One of those 2 weeks.
Oh no, maybe it
24.
was a smaller tournament before. It was maybe it could have been
Winston.
Atlanta. It could have been
Winston.
Atlanta.
Winston.
Winston-Salem. That's what it
Winston
was.
Salem.
Winston.
Winston
Yeah, who was I
Salem.
playing? Which match was this? Do you remember?
Tiebreak in the third. I think you won.
Safulin.
Safiullin, yes.
Yeah.
And we were watching you
Yeah.
play, and you kept in from outside looking in. We saw you playing, and when you would attack with the forehand, it would go well. But you were also taking big cuts with the backhand, even on like
Yeah.
return points. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about this idea of like the sword and the shield. So like the forehand is the
Yeah.
sword you can chop up, and the backhand is like more of a shield. But
Yeah.
I felt watching you like, man, he's taking lots of risk on the backhand side too. And then
Yeah.
a couple points at the end there where you actually went to the chip backhand, he
When
missed.
I threw something in there, he missed a
Yeah,
couple like just
exactly.
routine forehands. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me because we also spoke to Milos Raonic, who was saying
Yeah, that was a great episode.
that he would purposely play crazy like short points on return games too until like a big
Yeah,
moment in the
disrupt
set.
the rhythm, and then you
Yeah.
wait for crunch time, and you
Put
make them
something in the
play some
court and
balls.
then,
Yeah,
So I'm curious if you feel that your style is to play big on buses all the time, or is that literally like a thing where you want to get the match to moments where okay now
Mm-hmm.
it's tight and now I'm gonna make you play balls you haven't seen the whole set.
See, that right there is the biggest challenge within my game in particularly, but a lot of players with big games. It's how much pressure do we apply on our own serve versus how much pressure do we allow our opponents to feel when they're serving based on how we return. So when Milos was explaining like how he would go about it, is a lot of coaches have kind of used Pete as that example, and I know he's talked about how Pete was an idol of his, but Pete could just you'd fly through service games on Pete, and then all of a sudden at 4-all, he throws a nasty chip in there. He's not taking as big of cuts, he's making you play, but he's disrupted your rhythm throughout the whole course of the match, and now it's crunch time, and you're not as comfortable with letting go. I think at times in certain conditions that against certain opponents, that's a style that I've played pretty well doing and implementing. I think that style, at least for me, has a bit more volatility though, has a bit more ups and downs. And I know that going into it, Milos should probably say the same thing. Like you have a bit more of the ups and downs because there's going to be days in which I'm serving really well and taking those cuts on returns. You don't think anything about it because you're saying, I know he's not breaking me. So I like you just have that much confidence in your serving. And then there's certain days you saying, all right, I need to get into a little bit more second serve return. For me, it's about finding that balance and figuring out what's the best moment to implement which strategy. And that's the biggest challenge that I've found through, not just now, but throughout my entire career. There's certain times in which I play really well, just ultra aggressive all the time. There's certain times in which it's like, that you kind of swung yourself out of that match. You gave up, too many unforced errors. And so it's that push and pull of that, that spectrum of how aggressive can I be and still be efficient, still make balls, but still take enough risk that I can disrupt my opponent's rhythm so that my opponent is looking up at 4-all, 5-all, and they're like, man, I haven't hit a ground stroke in I don't know how long. I haven't been on balance and had to come up with something. And then you do little things. You chip a second serve return, you come to net because now it's like, oh, you got to come up with a passing shot. You haven't hit a ball for the last 10, 15 minutes. So many factors, bro. Like, are the courts slow? Are they bouncy? Because if they're slow and bouncy, for me, that means the kick is going to get up higher on my backhand. If it's a little bit quicker, I might be a little bit more prone to being more aggressive because the ball isn't going to get as high out of my zone.
Bro,
so
you're
it's
6'7", bro. What do you mean?
Yeah. And then a good kick serve. The problem is though, I have to get so far inside the baseline to be able to take a full swing at a kick, a good kick. So I have to get so close in, and if you don't hit it well, you're damn near in no man's land.
Yeah.
It's either I got to go back this way, or I need to just try to run forward and hope. So it's like you get caught, and I think that's why a lot of guys will use the chip because the chip is like, I can hold back a little bit. I don't have to be so close. Use the chip because it'll get higher, but on the chip is okay. Chip that, and then I can kind of give myself some time. Because also, too, if you get on top of it in no man's land, you're hitting it hard. You're not really taking pace off of that. Like, you got to step in and go after it. So sometimes you hit it hard, you go right back at the person, they redirect, and now you're running backwards at it. So all of that plays a part. In, you know, yeah, I hope it should make sense. All that plays a part.
funny.
It's just finding the balance. Yeah, it's a tough balance to find. It's a
It's funny
super,
because
super tough balance to find.
one of the reasons that I wasn't the most confident in my game, and it shows, is because of that exact situation. So I'm 6'5", like I like to play aggressive, forehand,
Six
come
four
in
three
and
quarters,
stuff.
bro. Come on, man.
I'm 6'5", and I would think about it, but in the other way. I'm the one that's fearful of playing a bad game at 5'4", 5'all", 5'6". Like,
Yeah.
I'm the one
Yeah, you can
fearful of
disrupt your own
myself
rhythm
getting
too. You
broken.
can disrupt your own rhythm. I've done that before. My first Grand Slam match I won, I was up 2-6 to love. Serve, and it was up a break in the third against Pedro Martinez, and I pretty much was half like just being super aggressive. So like I was just not trying to let him hit balls at all on his service games. And by the time it came time for me to serve for the match, I had no rhythm and I was tight. I got broken at like 15. But the two return games I had before that, I was like, okay, I got the break. I'm gonna just take cuts, step
Yeah.
around, make miss, make miss, make miss, make miss. Like it's just I would hold again. He's serving, make miss, when you could say, hey, just lock in here for the first 2 points, see how he responds. He may give you a easy first ball error, and then you're up love 15. Like it's a balance, man. It's so tough to find the balance, and it's something that I'm still working on. You guys know, Jody, you would know. I mean, you just said it. Like it's that balance is the toughest thing to find. When you find it though, and you're able to you're pushing at the right time, you're pulling back at the right time. Like tennis just seems so easy.
Do you think that that's why you had those runs? I remember after the City Pass match on the court, you were saying something to the effect of tennis, you don't have to play well all the time. It's just certain moments. Do you think
Yeah,
that you were
exactly.
just picking those moments well at the time, and that's just kind of different?
Yeah, and I was playing well in tiebreakers too. That whole
Yeah.
summer, I was playing really well in tiebreakers. So when tiebreakers came, I was like, oh, good to go. I think
Bro,
my
that's the
third round
sickest
against
thing. When you're
O'Connell,
playing
I
tie
think
breaks
was,
good, you feel like the
oh
fucking
man,
biggest man in the room, bro. It's a joke.
you were like, this is. I think so. Even dating back to Mallorca, I got. I actually lost a breaker to Mickelson in the first round. I think I got Ben 6 in the third. I think I got Lloyd Harris 6 in the third. I think I got Rinderknecht 6-6. Then I got O'Connell 6-6 in the third round. Like I was winning a ton of tiebreakers. So anytime it went to a tiebreaker, I was like, I'm good. And then I had the one against Medvedev at 2-1. I didn't get that one. And then it was 6-1 fifth set over.
You're top 50 till you're not.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yo,
Thanks for watching
you-
this clip. If you want to watch the full episode, the link is in the description down below.